Thank you. You are beautiful, let me tell you that. It is an honor for me to be here. I am deeply humbled, and I just want to start off by saying that it is a pleasure to represent the Lord and glorify Him in being a part of Liberty University. As we have the first slide, I just want to be able to say I am honored to have this opportunity and very humbled. There's a thing with the softball team that we say, as the slide comes up, the Lord makes winds His messenger, flames of fire His servants. Psalms 104:4. Good morning, flames. Yes! I'm going to share with you my story, but as you hear my story, I hope that you look at yourself, because in sport, it has been a major part of my life. And in sport, there are things that I've learned, life lessons that the Lord has been sharing with me and continues to share with me as I coach Liberty softball. One of the things when people ask me, what is the greatest moments that you've had in sport? And they think about receiving the Olympic gold medal, but no, it's not even close. The greatest moments in my life in sport is to be able to look around and see the gifts God has given my teammates and the gifts He's given the opponents. Each of you here have amazing gifts that the Lord has given you. Every one of us different. I've had teammates that are 6'4" and I'm 5'4". I can't do what she can do, but she can't do what I can do. Each of us different for a purpose, God's plan for you. When I was a little girl, I knew that God had given me a gift in athletics. I knew it because I loved it so much. Running, jumping. Even now I see a ball, I gotta bounce it, I gotta shoot it, I gotta hit it. I mean, I just feel alive doing it. In fact, in the Chariots of Fire movie, when one of the stars said to his sister, when I run, I feel God's pleasure. When I'm in sport, I feel God's pleasure. Do you feel His pleasure? But there was one problem when I was a little girl. Society made it perfectly clear that girls were not supposed to be athletic. Now, what do you mean, Dot? Well, girls were not allowed to play organized sports. Now, the boys didn't have a problem with me. In fact, the boys would pick me first after school in pickup games. Before my brothers, they picked me first. But society made it perfectly clear that I could not be an athlete on a team. And when I'd say my prayers at night, I'd ask the Lord, why did you give me this talent with no opportunities? Each of us, if you haven't said it yet in your life, will say one day, why is it so tough? Why isn't it easier? How come I don't have this opportunity? Well, those were words of a child. And when you say those, they're words of a child because we do not know the future. We do not know what the Lord has planned for us. But in Jeremiah, He says, the plans for you are to prosper. Check it out. Before a Little League baseball game, my big brother asked me to break in his brand new catcher's mitt. He knew who had the fastest fastball, right? And as I'm firing this fastball, I'm imagining I'm a Major League Baseball pitcher. I can't even play Little League, but I'm imagining I'm a Major League Baseball pitcher. Do you believe what God has given to you? Do you believe it's meant to be shared? You better. Next thing you know, this coach comes running off the field. He says, wow, you got a great arm. How would you like to play on my Little League Baseball team? My prayers are being answered. But then he said, well, we're gonna have to cut your hair really short and give you a boy's name. We're gonna call you Bob. Isn't it weird that I married a Bob? I know that God has a sense of humor. Have you ever been so close to living your dream, but the price was too high? You do not have to compromise what you believe in. I said, sir, thank you, but no thank you. If I have to hide who I am, I don't feel it's right. So as I walked over to a bigger field, I'd never seen one this big before, I ran into a friend of mine, Sunday Brown, and we started playing baseball catch. in really a deep right field of this field I'd never seen before. I'd seen a big baseball field with a grass infield, but I never saw a skin dirt infield. Well, we're playing baseball catch, and all of a sudden this other guy comes running up to me. 30 minutes later, from making the decision that I didn't have to hide who I was. And he said, wow, you got a great arm. Do you have a minute to talk to the head coach? I was like, sure. And as I'm walking from right field to first base, I look on the infield, and no longer are there boys there, they're women. And as I rounded home plate heading to third, out from the third base dugout came the head coach. It wasn't a man, it was a woman. And this had shocked me. She said, have you ever played softball? No, what is it? Oh, it's just like baseball, the ball's a little bigger. Get on third base, take a few ground balls. As I'm fielding these balls, I feel like I belong. Next thing you know, she calls me over. She says, how would you like to play on my fast-pitch softball team? Yes! God's answered my prayer. Kind of, the ball's a little bigger, but yes! And then she looked at me and said, well, how old are you anyway? And when I told her I was 10 years old, she almost died. The average age of that team was 22. So we had to go and talk to mom and dad, and they said yes. And at 10 years of age, I became the third baseman and leadoff batter for the Union Park Jets. Now, I share this sport lesson with you because of the life lesson it shares. We do not have to hide who we are. Each of us born for a reason, and you're different because you're supposed to be different. What about Sunday Brown? How come she wasn't asked to play for the Union Park Jets? She was good. The next year, when Title IX came into effect in our neighborhood of Union Park, Sunday Brown became the first girl to play Little League Baseball in our hometown. See, each of us, we have our destiny. It's amazing to me. If I could give you anything, I would love to give what I see right now as I look at you. You are beautiful. Your futures are so bright. You are so talented. You're challenging yourselves. I mean, that's what I would love to give to you, but instead, this is what I see all across the nation. When a young girl wakes up and she looks in the mirror, she says, I wish I was taller. I wish I was thinner. I wish my hair was straight instead of curly. I wish my straight hair was curly. I wish I had brown eyes instead of blue eyes. I wish I had blue eyes instead of brown eyes. I wish I didn't have freckles. I wish. Are you kidding me? Why don't you wake up, right? And my prayer is that you look in the mirror and you say, God, thank you. Thank you for the gifts you've given me. Thank you for who you made me to be. You are beautiful. You are awesome. But you don't believe it. Believe it. Next thing you know, at the end of the season, I made the All-Star team. And we're going to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee to play in this huge championship tournament. Someone's from Tennessee. And I knew this is what I was meant to do. I knew I was meant to be at this national championship, right? How many times do we think we know what we're supposed to do? Well, next thing you know, 1 week before that tournament, I'm playing in the backyard. And I'm swinging from one limb of a tree to another, and I decide I'm going to dismount as I'm pretending to be an Olympic gymnast. And as I dismounted off one of the limbs, I landed on the hood of an old car my dad had parked underneath the tree. And when I landed on the hood, I lost my balance. And as I looked back, I saw a board with nails sticking up. Have you ever done something to avoid a problem? And as you've done that, you realize that you made even a bigger mistake and you're in deeper problems. Well, yes, as I made an extra little push off the hood of that car, I missed the board with nails sticking up. But instead, I landed barefooted on a sickle, which is like a machete knife with a broomstick handle. As I severely cut my right foot, Yes, I was in physical pain, but the most overwhelming pain that a lot of us feel, and some are feeling now, was emotional. I had blown my chance. How many of us have felt that way? I've blown my chance. What was I thinking? I'm here to comfort you, to let you know you can't blow your chance. You might make bad decisions, but when you look back, everything happens for a reason. And it's God's reason, his plan for you. And here's mine. Instead of going to Chattanooga, Tennessee, I hobbled my way up to an instructional league tryout that was being held by the Orlando Rebels. This is a women's major team, like the Red Sox and the Tigers and the Yankees, okay? The Dodgers, need I go on? They were the best of the best. And they were teaching all the young girls in Central Florida fast-pitch softball. Well, I hobbled my way up to this tryout because I still had stitches and I'm like trying to try out. Well, I made a team. Everybody made a team, but I made a team. And for 3 months during this instructional league, I was learning from the legends. If I say these legends to you, Lou Gehrig, right? Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, you know who they are. Well, these were legends in our sport. I mean, these legends, Snooki Mulder, Stephanie Tenney, Mary Lou Cushing, they were teaching us the sport of fast-pitch softball. And I learned the drive to be the best you can be in everything you do. Well, next thing you know, at the end of the league, the head coach comes up to me and says, I've talked to your parents, and they said that the decision's up to you. How would you like to be the bat girl for the Orlando Rebels? Yes, are you kidding me? Awesome. I'm asking you, how many of you are prepared to start at the bottom? How many of you are prepared to open your minds and your hearts to learn from others? It's amazing how people look, and when bad things happen to you, you look and say, what have I done wrong? I'm not a bad person. You're not a bad person. Pain happens to us. Bad things happen to us because that's life. We saw the movie Unstoppable. It's life. But I believe those things happen to us so we can reach out and make a difference in the lives of other people who are going to go through the same pain that you have. Do you understand? Well, next thing you know, I've committed myself to be the best bat girl I could be. And I got to practice with the Orlando Rebel team at 6 to 9 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for spring training. And while I'm at spring training, I'm just imagining one day I'm going to break the records of these legends. I'm going to be the best softball player I can be. And then it happened. Check it out. The Orlando Rebels are beating a team 10-0. Coach looks in the dugout and says, Dot, get into the game. What? Get into the game. Is this legal? Yes. Batgirls are on the official roster. Get into right field. I don't know if that's true, but that's what she said to me. Do you know during this game, anything that could happen seemed to happen? I got up to bat with a runner on second base. I got a base hit. Run around to third, scored a run. I got an RBI, run batted in. At first base, I look over to coach, she gives me a steal. I steal second base. At second base, next batter gets a base hit. I round third, score a run. In right field, I got a routine fly ball. No big deal. But then I got a line shot. I scooped up and threw the girl out at first base. Awesome, right? At the end of the season, coach called me over and said, I've talked to your parents, and they said the decision's up to you. How would you like to be an Orlando Rebel? The next year, I became the youngest girl ever to play women's major ball at 13 years of age. And I share with you this life lesson. Are we prepared for our opportunities? What is the greatest opportunity we have? Life. The greatest opportunity God's given us is life. What is the greatest gift? Jesus Christ, our salvation, Are we prepared every day for the opportunity? Are we prepared? Well, next thing you know, I went to bed and I said this prayer that some of you might have heard before. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I awake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And please, Father, let there be a softball diamond in heaven. Do we love what we're doing so much that we feel the Holy Spirit, that we feel the excitement and the zest to tackle any challenges that come our way? In high school, I played volleyball, basketball, softball, track and field, and tennis. And I love them all. But these were some things I heard in high school. Dot, you are way too short to play basketball in college. Not gonna happen. Dot, there is no way you're gonna go from Florida to California to college at your dream school of UCLA. It's not gonna happen. Some people from California. Dot, there is no way you are gonna become a doctor. Because no one in your family's a doctor, you might as well forget about it. And you think you're gonna play for the United States of America? No way. How many negative things do we hear every single day from those around us? And even from our friends. I wanna challenge us to refuse to be the weakest link of a team, to refuse to try to bring people down. I pray that for every team I've ever been a part of, and for every team I will coach, I hope that everyone feels that I am there to lift them up, to help them reach their full potential, to not drag them down with negativity. But you know what's even worse? How many negative things do you say to yourself? And you listen. When people are telling you negative things, it's amazing how much you believe them over yourself and the gifts God's given you. And when you say the negative things to yourself, have the strength and pray to remove all doubt, to put it all on the line. After graduation from high school, I jumped on a jet and was flown to Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Center, to try out for my first ever United States team. I was 17, and I made it. We went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and won a gold medal for the United States in the first ever Pan American Games. Since then, representing the United States of America, I've been to Japan twice, China, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia 4 times, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Holland, England, Canada, Argentina, and Italy. They said it could never happen. I went to Western Illinois my first year. I played field hockey for the first time in my life, basketball and softball. Softball, I led the nation with a .480 batting average. We came 5th in the nation. And next thing you know, I had the opportunity to transfer to my dream school of UCLA. While at UCLA, we won the first NCAA championship ever offered to women in sport under the NCAA organization. Also, I played basketball for 2 years at UCLA that a lot of people don't know. They said it could never happen. Jackie Joyner-Kersee and I shared the All-University Athlete Award together. If you don't know who Jackie Joyner-Kersee is, she's ranked 1 or 2 as the top female athlete of the century. She went on to Olympic stardom, but what did I do? I went to Adelphi University in Long Island, New York, to get my master's degree. New Yorkers in the house? While at Adelphi University, I knew that I now was going to commit myself to get into medical school. And I'd play for the United States what I thought would be one more time at the Pan American Games and one more time at the World Championships. Next thing you know, I get accepted to medical school. I go to the University of Louisville in Kentucky. Next thing you know, after becoming a doctor, getting my MD degree, I went back to Southern California at USC this time. I knew there had to be that in the house, right? UCLA, USC. And I did my 5-year orthopedic surgery residency program and became an orthopedic surgeon. Then I did a 1-year sports medicine fellowship, working with the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Sparks, the Mighty Ducks, the Avengers, the Kings. And I share this with you not for you to look and say what I have done, but to look at yourself and say what you can do. The Lord is going to open opportunities, but whether it's a door or a window, be prepared to go through it with conviction and belief in the gifts He's given you. When I was 6 years old, I saw the Olympics on TV for the first time in my life. I saw a pole vaulter go over a bar, and when he landed on the mat, he looked up and he realized the bar hadn't fallen. And he had just captured the Olympic gold medal. The camera started scanning everybody in the Coliseum, and they're all standing ovation, and they're chanting, USA, USA. That night, as a 6-year-old girl, I went to bed and I had this dream. I was standing on a podium and I bent down, and an Olympic gold medal was put around my neck. In medical school, there's a day called Match Day. It is a day when you'll find out where you'll be for the next, in my case, 5 years of your life, going into surgery. That was the very day that our sport of fast-pitch softball knew that our sport would be in the Olympics 3 years from that time for the first time in Olympic history in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. Are you kidding me? No way. I don't want to lose my orthopedic surgery residency program. See the doubt coming in? All of a sudden, I just believed. As I handed over that match paperwork and she started putting it in the computer, just prayed, Lord, take me where you want me to be. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, I open up the envelope saying I've matched in my orthopedic surgery program at USC. And I go back home, and on the answering machine, this is what it said from the USC Orthopedic Residency Department. Dr. Dot Richardson, welcome to the Olympics of Orthopedics. What does that mean? Does he know softball's in the Olympics for the first time in Olympic history? Not, but that's what I was hoping. I secretively tried out for the Olympic team. What I did my first year, my internship year, is I made sure I took rotations that had weekends off. And I'd fly from Louisville, Kentucky, wherever I needed to go to try out for the Olympic team. It's a secret, right? Actually, at the time, flying from LA. Well, next thing you know, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. And it happened. I received a ground ball, fielded it, and I fired it across the infield, and the photo was taken. Yes, I became the centerfold of Sports Illustrated. What does that mean? In orthopedic surgery, there's 62 residents, or 5 of us were women. The rest are you guys, and you love Sports Illustrated. The secret was out. What did every single one of those residents do, those male residents? They ran up to me and they said, wow, what can we do to help you? How can we help you live this dream of Olympics? Olympic gold, come on, what can I do? How do we know we're part of a team? God's team. It's about giving yourself and serving to others, putting Him number one. Well, September the 5th, I got called into the office, just so you know, and chairman said, Dot, we've elected to give you a 1-year leave of absence to go for your childhood dream of Olympic gold. I had 1 year between my 2nd and 3rd year of residency to go for the Olympic gold, my childhood dream. September 5th of 1995 was named to your first ever United States Olympic team. And next thing you know, I started to have these dreams. I felt like Joseph, you know what I mean? With dreams, our visions. I believe the Lord speaks to us in so many different ways. Next thing you know, in my dream, I saw myself hit a home run over dead center field fence. Cool. I knew that dream had to mean I hit the first home run in Olympic history off the first pitch. Nice. The next dream, I saw myself hit a home run over right field fence. And I knew it had to mean the gold medal by the reaction of everybody in the stands. Then the next dream I had was all 15 of us standing on the Olympic gold medal podium with Olympic gold around our necks. Sometimes we think we know the path that we're supposed to take, but reality says no. God has another plan. There's no way I could hit the first pitch in the Olympic Games over dead center field fence. Why? Because the games were in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States of America. So I knew the dream meant I hit the first pitch to an American over dead center field fence. See, these home runs are big dreams. I'm a leadoff batter. My goal is just to get on base. My team doesn't care if I get hit by a pitch, right? Just get on base. Big dreams. Let me take you to the first pitch in Olympic history, to yours truly, for the United States of America's softball team. Ball low outside. Are you kidding me? I turned around, I looked at the umpire. I can't believe I said this. Do over. Do over. I'm praying she did not understand English. Have you ever seen something that was supposed to happen one way, but instead you look back and it happened another way and the way it should have happened? That at bat was not an individual moment. It was a team historic moment. Instead, the next pitch, I got to base it up the middle. I'm at first base. Julie Smith puts a bunt down. I get to second. Lisa Fernandez gets up, gets a base hit to right field. I round third and score the first run in Olympic history. But sometimes our individual moments happen. And here was one of mine. That fourth at bat, when that pitcher threw that pitch, I knew it was my dream. And as I rotated as fast as I could, and I saw that ball go off my bat, even though they say scientifically that's impossible. I'm running to first base as fast as I can because I'm not a home run hitter, and I look and I see the ball go over dead center field fence, just like that dream. And as I'm rounding second base, my arms are up in the air because I realized I had just lived that dream. And what was I thinking? I was wishing that everyone could feel what I was feeling at that moment, at least once in your lifetime. And it's not about hitting a home run. It's about dreaming big when everyone around you say it is impossible. With God, all things are impossible. With the Lord, all things are possible. With man, you never know. Next thing you know, the gold medal game, I get up on my third at bat, and when I hit that ball, and that ball went over right field just like my dream, I knew that I was living that dream in that gold medal game to bring us to the ultimate dream, which was all of us standing on the gold medal podium with the first ever Olympic gold medal around our necks. This Olympic gold medal to me represents opportunity, an opportunity we have every day of our lives to use the gifts God's given us to make a difference in the lives of other people. And sometimes you will far exceed your dreams. I never saw the 2000 Olympics happen. And in 2000, we lost not 1, 2, but 3 games in a row. And everyone told me that the United States of America had given up on us. Have you ever felt that people have given up on you? Don't ever give up on yourself, because God does not give up on you. In Sydney, we came back to not win just 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5 games in a row to bring back the second Olympic gold medal to the United States of America. The 2000 Olympic gold medal to me represents perseverance, to never give up, to never make excuses, to give it everything you have to be the best you could be with the gifts God's given you. In closing, I want to leave you with one final story. This story is about a girl who had just had brain surgery 4 days earlier than my visit with her. We had won the gold medal, and I had to get back to work. And when I got back to work, there was everybody, like a big party, the band, everything. And I realized that, okay, everyone had shared in the Olympic moment with us. Well, then I got back to work. And as there were supposed to be 100 patients, as usual, in orthopedic surgery trauma rotation. But instead, there they were. There were the cameramen. And they were watching me look at one girl's wrist over and over again. And all of a sudden, the phone rang, and I was called to the chairman's office. When I got there, Dr. Padzakis said, "Have a seat. I don't want you to take this wrong, but you are a major distraction. Go to the White House. Do the David Letterman show. Go to the Walt Disney World Parade. Just go." Do I have to? Yes, go. Well, I made a red-eye flight for one reason and one reason only the next night, because I wanted to have all the children in the children's hospital share this Olympic gold medal. As I'm walking down the hill from General Hospital to the Women and Children's Hospital, this guy comes running after me. "Dr. Richardson, wait up, wait up." "What's going on?" He goes, "I have a Polaroid and I want to take a picture with you and all the kids in the hospital." "All right, let's do it." This afternoon, I want to leave you with the story of that last child that I saw that day. She'd had brain surgery 4 days earlier, and as I walked into the intensive care room, I looked at her and she's in bed, and half of her head is shaven bald, and the other half is this thick, black, curly hair. And as I'm getting closer to her, I realize her mother's standing to the right of the bed and her sister's seated to the left. As I get next to her, I put this gold medal around her neck, and cheek to cheek, we look up at the photographer, and I said, "Smile, it's the Olympic gold." All of a sudden, he took the photo. I walked away and I looked at her and I said, "You look good in gold." And she had this huge smile. I'll never forget it. And she said, what a lot of you are thinking, "Is it real gold?" Like, yeah, you want to know, right? And I looked at her and said, "Well, it's really 90% silver, 10% gold, but it's pure gold to me." We talked a little bit longer, then I realized I'd better get moving. As I was leaving the room, I noticed that her mother was crying, and so was her sister. And when I left the room, the 4 nurses who had gathered all had tears in their eyes. And as I passed the last nurse, I said, "Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong?" She said, "No, Dot, you don't understand. This child has not spoken a single word since her surgery until now." I stand before you deeply humbled to have this opportunity to speak to you and to share with you what I know it really is all about. It's not about conference championships. It's not about all-state or all-American selections. It's not about national championships or even Olympic gold medals. It's about each of us recognizing the gifts God's given us and the opportunities He's given us to make a difference in the lives of other people, to be able to impact the world for Him. Each of you are incredibly amazing. Realize it. Believe it. Liberty, each and every one of us are champions for Christ. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.